I'm really excited for you to meet one of your fellow members here at Community of Grace. This is Tara Ron. And Tara and I, we were talking a couple weeks ago. I think I first met you when you were like 3 years old. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
And you remember that, right?
No.
Yeah, of course not. So Tara's been, obviously, since I've known her since she was 3, we've known each other quite a long time. And it's been just fun to watch her sort of grow up and now to be who she is today. I wanted you to hear some of her story. And Tara, let's start first. You served the United States of America in the Army for a while. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yes, I'm still in the reserves. Just hit 21 years.
Wow, thank you so much.
Almost done.
Yeah.
I joined for college to do something different and exciting, and it's been that. I deployed to Iraq in 2007. When they first went into Afghanistan, I actually got deployed to Fort Lewis stateside and did some law enforcement there at their Air Force Army combined base for about 3 years. So I've learned a lot being in the Army.
And now your Army career sort of landed you a new position. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing these days.
I work for the Sheriff's Department in Internal Affairs. So yes, the training has now paid off civilian side. So. And
when you say you're working for the Sheriff's Office with Internal Affairs, give us just a little sense of what that means.
So I'm a civilian with them, and I do complaints that come in from the public or internal complaints of possible policy violations. And so we just look into that allegation to determine if it's true or false and if that person needs to be held accountable.
Now, one of your big ministries in life is being a mom, and you've been foster parenting for how many years now?
Going on 7 years.
7 years. So tell us the names and ages of your children.
Malia is my oldest. She's 12. Nora is next, and she's 11. Zoe is after that, and she's 10. And then surprise little man is Zane, and he is 3.
All right. And how did you find yourself being called into foster parenting?
I was married, and my in-laws were doing it, and I lived with them for a little while. And so the kids that were coming in, their stories were just heartbreaking. And they're kind of the innocence in the situation and unknowing. So I felt called that, I can give them a home, whether that's temporary or permanent or, passing on, because sometimes family members will take the kids. I felt like it was something that I could do.
But you're doing this as a working single mom who's still with the Army Reserves as well.
Yes. I joke that it's God, coffee, and my counselor.
Yes. I was going to say, when do you sleep?
I do. That's actually like I've got to get my sleep.
Yeah. And now, the kids that you have, are they all your children now?
Yes.
Okay. And are you still taking in foster kids at this point, or have you sort of said, you know what, I've kind of done my thing?
We do have an open license, so I could take a kiddo if they needed me to. And I've told them right now we're kind of on pause. It needs to be a family thing, not something that is dragged along. So there's conversations and talking about how we could possibly serve kids in our home temporarily.
So when you're a foster parent, you have kids who come in. And then there comes a point where you may be able to adopt them. So that's been the story for you with the children you have?
Yes. So in 7 years, I've fostered probably 14 kiddos.
Wow.
I've only had one reunification where they've gotten to go home. She was actually one of my first placements. And I'm still in contact with mom, and mom struggles. But they're surviving, so that's kind of cool to see, because that's not usually the norm. That is the goal of the system. Many kids go on to be with grandparents or aunts and uncles. In my case, I got to adopt 3 of them. All 3 came to me from the hospital as babies, and they had minimal contact with bio parents who just weren't capable of doing what they needed to do, so I was gifted them through adoption.
So we're recording this now the weekend of the Disney show, so it's August, and you're involved in that.
Yes.
Are your kids involved as well?
The older girls, the 3 girls.
Tell us a little bit about how Community of Grace and the church has been a source of help, support for you, being a single parent, and all the other things that you've been doing, and of course, being involved here.
I mean, there's always things going on that the kids want to be involved in, and it's kind of nice to see them to want to do something, and I know they're in a safe environment with people that I grew up with and their kids, so that's kind of cool. The youth group, the older two are now in youth group. Now I feel old. They do monthly activities, and the choir and the singing, my kids are really into it. So it's kind of cool to do that together as a family.
Yeah. Well, again, it has been so much fun just to see you grow up and the incredible woman that you've become, you know, serving our country, serving our families, serving here at Community of Grace. And we're proud of you. And thank you so very, very much for taking some time and telling us your story.
Sure, of course. Thanks for having me.